Welcome to the Leather Journey. I'm Dex. Today we're going to talk a little bit about flow. What do I mean by flow? Well, flow to me, one of the biggest components of flow is the type of whip you're throwing. And I want to throw a couple of different types of whips here this morning so you can see the difference in the flow. Okay, so a signal whip has a thong that ends directly in the cracker. So it's the most accurate whip in the dungeon, the easiest to learn to throw as far as being a single type of single tail, and it generally finishes where you point it once it's broken in. So whether you're throwing it horizontal style or whether you're throwing it overhand, when I throw it and I point it, it's going to finish right where I point it. So I'm pointing it right at the camera and trying to get that cracker to finish right at the camera. But because of that, if you look at the profile of this whip, it rolls out and it's very accurate, but it doesn't have as good a flow as, say, a signal or a bullwhip would have. So if flow is interesting to you and something that you want to achieve, then I would encourage you to look at snake whips and bull whips, because the fall, this lovely flexible piece of leather that the thong ends with a fall and then the cracker's attached to it, that fall allows you to have flow. So this whip has more flow and, to me, more graceful movement than a signal whip has, even though the signal whip is more accurate, okay? But a short snake is certainly accurate enough to throw in the dungeon. So I'm going to throw this at the camera so you can get an idea how accurate the snake is compared to that signal I threw. Okay, so we're achieving adequate accuracy, but we have better flow. Okay, I'll throw a profile for you so you can see the profile of a snake. So the profile of a snake or a bullwhip, once it's broken in, is a rolling C shape that's going to finish where you point it. Okay, you want a whip that finishes where you point it. Okay, now if I'm throwing two-handed, I'll throw two-handed for you briefly. These are two matched signal whips. Gonna just throw a little 4-count Florentine, and I want you to look at the flow of these whips and the accuracy or lack of accuracy. If there's a lack of accuracy, it's my fault, because signals are very accurate. But you can see the cracker pattern, where the cracker's ending up as I throw it toward the camera, okay? And you get an idea of that flow. Then we're gonna throw the snake whips, and I want you to get an idea of the flow of the snake whip as I move in closer, okay? Just, to me, has so much better flow and graceful rollout than that signal did. Okay, it's not how pretty the plaiting is. That signal whip plaiting is tremendous. Okay, these whips aren't plaited nearly as pretty, but because they're snakes, they have a different dynamic and a different flow. So now let me let you see the profile of the flow of these whips. These are matched snakes, 3-foot snakes by Peter Jack. Okay, and I'm still breaking them in. I've only had them maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, but they're working in nicely. Okay, and then the flow of the signal whips that I was throwing. Okay, of course, without the fall, these are much shorter. These are 4-foot signals. by desert minks at Mojave Outliers. Now if I throw them horizontal, over, under, you're looking for even horizontal work. Back to the forward figure 8. And every once in a while I'll get fancy and I'll try to do 6-count Florentine with these. I can touch the back with 6-count Florentine, but I'm certainly not cracking the whip with 6-count Florentine, and then flow back into a 4-count pattern. So I hope you have an idea of the difference in the flow you can get with your whip with signals as compared to snakes and bull whips. As always, thanks for watching Whip